Rob Gray. You know, when Rob came to, he was an interesting story too, because I have to go back to J. Rod Stiggers when I talk about Rob. That first year, I was meeting with I always have a 45-minute exit meeting with our players at the end of the year. You know, and I always have like a 2 or 3 minute edit. You know, a minute and a half is always things that they need to improve in, areas that I think that they've got to get better in. Then I do a minute and a half, 2 minutes on what I think they're good at. So I talked to J. Rod, go through everything, even show him the edit. And right before he's getting ready to get up and go out, he reaches into his backpack and presents this stack of papers to me. He said, "Coach, I just want you to look at this. Me and my mama talked, and you know, blah, blah, blah." He went on and on. I said, "Well, what is it, Jay?" Right? He said, "Well, I met this guy that said he could help me get a job." I said, "Well, what are we talking about here?" Well, long story short, J. Rod had signed with an agent, and that was going to be my starting two guard the following year. So let's say that was on a Tuesday. Okay. Well, Tuesday night, I called Scott Raines, who was my assistant coach at Oklahoma, who's now the head coach at Howard College. When I first got here in April of 2014, one of the guys I went to see was Eric Weary. Eric Weary played at Howard College, played for Scott Raines. So I'm going to see Eric. Never seen him before, knew nothing about him. I'd been in the NBA for 6 years, didn't know anybody. So I walk in this gym and I see this kid over here shooting. I'm going, "What year in school? Is he signed with anybody?" And I said, "No." I said, "Well, what year in school is he?" He said, he's just a freshman. He'll be a freshman next year. So I started talking to Scott and I said, "What's that kid's name?" He said, "Rob Gray." I said, "He's pretty good." Went there for Eric. I loved Eric, but Eric wasn't quite as good as Rob. I wanted the other one. I wound up with Eric, which was great. I mean, Eric was tremendous for us. But fast forward, as soon as I found out that J. Rod, I took that contract down to Lauren in compliance, and Lauren took it to Hunter, and right away we knew Rob's amateur days were over. He was a pro, so we had to have a guard, and this was I think middle of April. Well, that weekend prior to me calling Rob had gone to Tennessee. Well, Rob is from Rutherford, North Carolina, Forest City, Rutherford County and Forest City, which is up close to the mountains in North Carolina. So from where he was to Knoxville was probably about 2.5 hours. Knoxville was right by the Great Smoky Mountains. Right across the mountains is North Carolina. So Rob and his mom and dad go visit Tennessee. They go out to dinner on Friday night. Rob commits. 7 o'clock that morning, before he got up, there's a knock on his door telling him that the head coach from Tennessee just got fired. So Rob's got all this swirling in his head. He's just waiting around to see who the new coach would be. And about a week later, maybe not even a week, they hired Rick Barnes. So that Tuesday night, I called Scott. I said, "I need Rob Gray's phone number." He said, "Well, Coach, he just committed to Tennessee, but they changed coaches." I said, "They changed coaches, right?" "Well, good. Give me his phone number." Well, long story short, I had Rob on campus on Friday. His mother didn't make it, but his father did. And there's always recruiting stories. Here's a great recruiting story on Rob. This building was a frame. There was no gym. It was just frame. You know, you had to go down and check in at the trailer out here and get a hard hat and a vest and all that stuff and safety glasses. So I'm walking him and his father, and I'm selling on their vision. Here's our vision. And I kept saying, "We're going to win. You know, we're going to win." You know, we had just gone 13 and 19. You know, I knew what the rooms were going to look like once the house was built, but it wasn't built, so I had to sell them on the vision. But I took him. We went over to see the academic center, meet with Hunter and all that stuff. But here, come walking by, is Carl Lewis, and his father, I think, almost fainted. Because his favorite athlete in the world is Carl Lewis. Said, "Hey, Rob, that's Carl Lewis. That's Carl Lewis. That's Carl Lewis." oh my God, man, that is Carl Lewis. Rob, you don't understand, man, that is Carl Lewis. This was his dad. True story. Carl, come here. You know, you never know when God's hand's gonna reach out and touch somebody. For some reason, the good Lord put Carl Lewis in that situation. We had him, I wasn't sure we were gonna get Rob until Carl walked by. So Carl comes back, and Carl treated Rob Gray like he would treat one of his recruits. He did an awesome job. Without being prompted, without being coached, Carl started recruiting Rob for us. So sometimes you just have to sit back and say, you know what, the good Lord had a hand in this one now. Because he started talking about the 1984 Olympics. His dad knew what his times were. He knew what races he ran. So, oh my God, that's Carl Lewis, his favorite athlete ever. You know, some guys in that age group, their favorite athlete is Muhammad Ali. But for a lot of guys in his dad's age group, it's Carl Lewis, because he remembers seeing him at the Olympics. And Carl did a great job. Now, is that why we got him? I don't know, probably, but it sure helped with his dad. So once we got Rob, you know, the great thing is we had him for 3 years, and I knew he had the talent. But you know, Rob was like a shotgun blast. When you shoot a shotgun, it's just pellets that go in a million different directions, and that was Rob. He was a shotgun blast. And my goal was to get him to be a rifle shot. So we had to get Rob back inside a box. He was all over the place. That freshman year, I think our December, he had 31, I think, against LSU, and that was his hello world moment. People realized how talented this kid was. Then he had several games where he had 20, 25, 30, I think at East Carolina, 32, whatever it was. But I always knew that once we got him corralled, you know, he's like a wild horse up in Montana, just running around. Once we got him in the corral, he was going to be really good, and it took us a while. But his growth as a student, as a player, and as a person has really been gratifying for me to watch. He's the first person in his family to graduate from college. He has become a tremendous teammate, a great leader, someone that really cares about other people. It's just, you know, you go back to that 3x5 index card, you know, and you see the path that Rob has taken and where he is right now. It just makes you feel good. But he's been interesting to coach, but he's one of my all-time favorites to coach too. You know, you don't all want him to be, you know, a box of vanilla ice cream. You know, if Rob was ice cream, he would be Neapolitan. You know what that is? It's got a little strawberry, it's got a little chocolate, it's got a little vanilla, and actually he may have some M&Ms and an Oreo cookie and Butterfinger Crunch mixed in there too. Rob's a lot of things, but more importantly, he's one of my all-time favorites.